There are many times that heroes will rise to replace a loved yet older hero. Wally West replaced Barry Allen as the Flash after the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline. Both the Falcon and the Winter Soldier have taken on the mantle of Captain America at one point. And Dick Grayson grew from Robin to become Nightwing, and eventually became Batman for a short time. In the world of the Transformers, my personal favorite character is also one to take on a hero's mantle. Rodimus Prime, a character that was very polarizing to many Transformers fans. Some hated him.
However, that doesn't mean I don't really hate you, Rodimus. I do.
Others, like myself, loved him.
Let's do it!
He started off as Hot Rod, a young, overconfident, and headstrong Autobot. Introduced to audiences in Transformers the movie, he transforms into a sports car designed with what people in 1985 thought sports cars would look like in the year 2005. Now I warn you, if you haven't seen the original 1986 animated Transformers movie, stop the video and go watch it right now. In fact, you can pick it up on Blu-ray. And then continue on with this. I'm going to be giving away some major spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, you've been warned. In the spring and summer of 1986, the original Transformers cartoon was airing reruns of the first and second season, and I was glued to my TV, until I heard the commercial for the movie coming that summer for Transformers the movie.
2 years in the making, an incredible adventure and spectacular widescreen animation opens in theaters everywhere Friday, August 8th. Transformers, the movie.
Beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination. Yes, that was one of the taglines. And I begged my parents to see it, and of course we did in theaters. I was in for the shock of a lifetime, as many fan-favorite characters actually die, which they never had done before in the cartoon. Then Optimus Prime and Megatron battle to the death, and Optimus Prime dies. Megatron was rebuilt into Galvatron, and Ultra Magnus took command of the Autobots. Ultra Magnus didn't fare so well, but at the end of the movie, the rookie Autobot Hot Rod became Rodimus Prime.
Arise, Rodimus Prime. Optimus.
After the movie, I was jumping for joy. I loved the new characters and couldn't wait to see where they would go next. In the fall of 1986, Season 3 aired and picked up right where the movie left off, with Rodimus Prime in command of the Autobots, and Galvatron in command of the Decepticons, with a new threat, the Quintessons. The battle was now on two fronts, both Cybertron and Earth. While the animation took a hit in many episodes, and the writing wasn't as good as it was in Season 1 and 2, I still had a fondness for Rodimus Prime. As the new leader, he was upgraded in both size and strength. He transformed into a futuristic truck that still bore resemblance to him formerly being Hot Rod. The trailer itself, although not seen in fiction, could transform into a mobile battle platform. In Season 3, he was a conflicted leader.
Why'd I have to be the chosen one?
The heavier responsibilities that Rodimus Prime faced quickly began to weigh in on him.
Yeah, maybe I was, but things are getting real tough lately. I've got so many responsibilities, I'm not sure I can handle them all.
Unlike Optimus Prime, who commanded the Autobots during the Cybertronian Civil War, Rodimus Prime had more of a presidential role. This meant that the battles that took place were much grander in scope. The Autobots had gained control of Cybertron, which began to function as part of a planetary alliance. As such, Rodimus Prime had to play the role of a diplomat as well as battle the threats of the Decepticons and the Quintessons. Because of this, Ultra Magnus usually took on the role of field commander and one of Rodimus Prime's advisors. This was something Ultra Magnus felt most confident in.
But you're doing a wonderful job. Trust yourself more, and in time you'll realize you're every bit as good as Optimus Prime ever was.
But Rodimus Prime longed for the days he could return to being a little bit more carefree as Hot Rod. Eventually he began to realize that being the leader was naturally a part of him, despite how he saw himself.
Not just the Matrix Cup. A missing part of myself.
At the end of Season 3, Optimus Prime was restored to life and retook command of the Autobots.
Autobots, transform and roll out!
Rodimus Prime was once again Hot Rod, and eventually became a target master in the series finale, The Rebirth. In Japanese continuity, the Headmaster's anime ignored the Rebirth, and Hot Rod began a quest to reclaim and recharge the Matrix. When he did so using the essence of Alpha Trion, he once again became Rodimus Prime. Optimus Prime would again sacrifice himself, leaving Rodimus Prime in command. However, when the Decepticons destroyed Cybertron, Rodimus Prime left Fortress Maximus in charge of the Autobots, while he left to find a new homeworld for all Cybertronians. He did rejoin the Autobots eventually in the short-lived Headmasters manga. In the Marvel Comics, Hot Rod was one of Fortress Maximus's troops that became Target Masters. He made sporadic appearances in the comic, joining the main cast after an underbase-powered Starscream killed off a majority of older characters. In alternate timelines, the comic adaptation of Transformers the movie had him become Rodimus Prime. The UK comics told many stories of Rodimus Prime after events of the comic version of the movie. The G2 comics continued to have Hot Rod battle alongside Optimus Prime. However, the Regeneration 1 comics had Hot Rod jump into another universe to become Rodimus Prime, and gain the help of various versions of himself from multiple universes. The 3H BotCon comics told of a future timeline with Hot Rod, now going by the name of Rodimus. He joined the Wreckers around the time of the Autobots being converted to Maximals. He would end up dying, as Wreckers usually do, fighting Cyclonus. The Dreamwave comics had introduced Hot Rod along with other Autobots from the 1986 toy line, but those comics were very short-lived. IDW Comics Rodimus has been on a quest to find the Knights of Cybertron as leader of the Lost Light crew. Outside of G1, Rodimus has made sporadic appearances throughout different Transformers series. In Transformers Energon, Rodimus was a sub-commander that left Cybertron long ago, only to rejoin Optimus Prime in order to stop Unicron. In Transformers Animated, Ultra Magnus is the supreme commander of the Autobots, while Rodimus Prime serves as leader of his own unit that was ambushed by a group of Decepticons. Rodimus Prime is also in the new Combiner Wars web series as part of the Council of Worlds. Apparently, Hot Rod will be appearing in Transformers The Last Knight. As to how his character is portrayed, or whether or not he will become Rodimus Prime, is completely up to Michael Bay. Now, given his track record with certain characters, my expectations are really low. Because of the events of the original 1986 movie, many fans really hate Rodimus Prime. They blame him for the death of Optimus Prime. In the movie, Optimus Prime hesitates instead of firing and killing Megatron, while Megatron crawls to a nearby gun. Hot Rod sees this and jumps into the fray to try and stop Megatron from using it. Hot Rod is clearly underpowered, so Megatron gains the upper hand and fatally blasts Optimus Prime. Hot Rod even asks for forgiveness after the battle.
Optimus, forgive me.
Those same fans also dislike him because of his lack of self-confidence in his own leadership role as Rodimus Prime. They even go so far as calling his space truck mode a camper because of the shape of its design. While I understand the dislike of the character, he quickly rose to be my personal favorite. As a kid, I always thought his design was cool as both Hot Rod and as Rodimus Prime. While here on my show I try to be rational, in real life there are times I can be just as hot-headed, which sometimes can get the better of me. When I had stepped into a managerial role at a previous job, I completely related to Rodimus Prime with how he felt the burden of being a leader. While Optimus Prime was like Superman, Rodimus Prime had to deal with living up to that legacy. Some may also argue that Optimus Prime was merely holding Megatron back until the Decepticons conquered Cybertron, and that Rodimus Prime led the Autobots after they won the war. However, I think that's just grasping at straws. Him being brash and headstrong while eventually overcoming his self-doubt is what makes him an enjoyable and relatable character. Also, it was Optimus Prime who dubbed Hot Rod as Rodimus Prime from within the Matrix.
Arise, Rodimus Prime.
Optimus.
I also do enjoy his arrogant impulsiveness in the IDW comics. I hope you've enjoyed my retrospective on Rodimus Prime. I do wish they would use the character a lot more in animated fiction in a leadership role. And please, Hasbro, let it be better than this new Prime Wars trilogy version. But what do you think? How much do you like or dislike the character? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I've got a lot more videos coming soon, so stay tuned. And as always, until next time.
Monsters. They made me a weapon to destroy the very ones I loved in life. But you will save them.